Welcome back to Revise and Resubmit, the show where we like dig into these crazy research papers and try to like break them down so
Yeah,
everyone can understand them.
absolutely.
So today we're looking at this paper. It's called Building Machines That Learn and Think with People.
Really interesting paper.
I know, right? Just the title had me hooked.
Yeah, and I think what's so fascinating about this paper is it's really proposing like a whole new way to think about AI, you know? Like
Yeah.
moving past this
Okay.
idea of AI as just a tool, like a fancy calculator or something.
Okay.
But more as like a real thought partner.
Oh, wow, a thought partner. That's a pretty big jump.
It is.
I mean, what does that even look like practically?
So instead of, just giving us answers or following instructions, you get it.
Yeah.
These AI systems would actually understand our goals.
Yeah.
They'd actually work with us to solve problems.
Wow.
And maybe even challenge our thinking, along the way.
So it's more like a really smart
Yeah.
study buddy.
Exactly.
That kind of gets where you're coming from.
That's a great analogy.
So where do we even begin?
Well, so the authors of this paper, Catherine M. Collins and her colleagues,
Okay.
they lay out these three key things that they say any AI thought partner that's going to be successful
Yeah.
it has to have these
Okay.
kind of desiderata.
Desiderata.
Yeah, it basically just means like must-haves.
Okay, so the must-haves for a good AI thought partner.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's hear them. What's the first one?
All right, so the first desiderata is you understand me.
You understand me.
Yeah, and what that means is that this AI, it needs to be able to like adapt to your individual knowledge, your skills, and even like your limitations,
Oh, okay.
So imagine like you're learning to code for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Instead of throwing all this complex jargon at you, this thought partner would know, okay, this person's a beginner.
Right.
Let me explain things in a way that they can actually understand.
Oh, that would have been helpful.
Right.
When I was first starting out.
It's like having a tutor who is always on the same page as you.
Totally. Okay, what's the second one?
All right, so the second must-have is I understand you.
Okay.
And this is all about transparency and communication.
Oh.
The AI's actions need to be clear, understandable.
Right.
No more of that like black box mystery where you
Yeah.
have no idea how it came to its conclusion.
How did you get that?
Exactly. Like you'd be able to follow its reasoning, understand its thought process.
Transparency and AI. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 down. What's the third desiderata?
All right, so the third one, and I think this one's maybe the most crucial, is we understand the world.
We understand the world.
Yeah, so what that means is the AI and the human, they're working from the shared understanding of like whatever the task is or the domain they're in.
Mm-hmm.
They're using the same knowledge, the same representations, the same assumptions.
So it's not just about the AI being smart.
Right.
It's about being on the same wavelength as the human.
Exactly.
That makes sense. But how do we actually make AI that can do all that?
That's where it gets really interesting. So the paper suggests that we can use insights from cognitive science.
Cognitive science.
Yeah, so that's the study of like how humans think and learn.
Okay.
And we can use those insights to actually engineer these desiderata into AI systems.
So we're not just like crossing our fingers and hoping this stuff just magically appears when we're training these big models.
Exactly.
We're actually trying to be intentional about it.
Yeah, it's like we're reverse engineering human intelligence to try to create AI that thinks more like we do.
I like it.
And one of the key approaches they highlight in the paper is something called the Bayesian approach.
Okay, I've heard of Bayesian statistics, but can you explain it in a way that I can actually understand?
Yeah, so think about like how you make decisions in your everyday life, right?
Okay.
Like let's say you're deciding whether to take an umbrella with you when you leave the house.
Right.
You might look out the window, check the weather app on your phone,
Uh-huh.
maybe even think about how often it's rained recently.
You're gathering information?
Yep, exactly. You're weighing all these different pieces of evidence to try to make an informed guess.
Right.
And that's basically what the Bayesian approach is all about.
Okay.
It's a way of modeling how humans update their beliefs based on new information.
Okay.
So you start with this prior belief, like in this case, whether you think it's going to rain or not.
Right.
And then you update that belief as you gather more evidence.
So the AI can change its mind.
Exactly. It's not stuck in its ways.
It's learning.
It can adapt and change its understanding of the world based on what it learns.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's just one of like the fascinating motifs from cognitive science that they explore.
Motifs. There are more.
Oh yeah, there are a bunch more.
Okay, well, I want to hear about them.
Let's get into it.
Lay it on me.
So one of the other motifs is called probabilistic models of cognition.
Probabilistic models of cognition.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, but
Yeah.
basically it means, just like humans, these AI systems, they would use probability to make decisions under uncertainty. So instead of just giving you a single answer like, this is definitely the answer,
Right.
they would consider different possibilities
Okay.
and assign probabilities to each one.
Like, this is probably it.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yep.
there's a 70% chance this is the right answer.
Okay, that's much more human.
Right.
Than just being like, this is it.
Exactly. It's a more nuanced approach.
Okay, what else? What other motifs?
All right. So another key motif is theory of mind and communication.
Okay, theory of mind.
Yeah. So
Break that down for me.
imagine you're playing hide and seek.
All right, I love hide and seek.
Right. You know where you're hiding.
Yeah.
But the person looking for you, they don't.
Right.
So you have a theory of mind. You understand that other people,
Okay,
they have different beliefs and perspectives than you do.
got it.
And that's important because you can use that to predict their actions.
If I think they think I'm over here, I'm going to go over there.
Exactly.
So how does this relate to our AI thought partners?
So the paper argues that we need to design AI systems that can also model other people's beliefs, their intentions, even their emotions.
Okay.
And that would allow them to communicate more effectively, understand our unspoken goals, anticipate our needs.
So it's more than just giving me information.
Right.
It's understanding the context and responding accordingly.
Yeah, and that's a huge step forward from the AI assistants that we have today.
Big time.
And there's one more motif I want to mention before we move on.
Okay, hit me.
It's called resource rationality.
Resource rationality.
Yeah, another mouthful. I
Yeah.
know. But basically what it means is that this AI, it would take into account your limitations as a human being.
That's fair.
We have limited time, limited attention, limited memory capacity,
It's true. It's true.
and a resource rational AI, it wouldn't overwhelm you with too much information
Okay.
or expect you to process things instantly.
So it's considerate.
It is, it's like, it's saying, I know you're busy, you have a lot going on, so I'm going to be respectful of your time.
I like that a lot.
And your cognitive resources.
All right, so we've got AI that understands us better than ever before, but I need to see this in action.
Yes.
Can you give me some examples of how this would actually work in the real world?
Absolutely. The paper dives into a bunch of really cool case studies highlighting how AI thought partners could revolutionize fields like programming.
Okay, perfect for our show.
Exactly.
Embodied assistant storytelling.
Even medicine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
We better get into it then.
Let's do it. All right, so let's jump into some of those real world examples.
Yes, please. I'm ready.
I think it'll really help kind of like bring this to life.
Yeah.
And see what this could actually look like.
Okay, so since we're all about code here at Revise and Resubmit, let's start with programming.
Okay, perfect.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've been stuck on a bug for hours, wishing I had like a super smart coding buddy,
Yeah.
just like to help me out, you know?
So imagine this, you're staring at your code, you are totally stumped, and then your AI thought partner steps in.
Okay.
But it doesn't just like point out the error in your code. It actually figures out what mistaken assumptions you're making.
Oh, wow.
How the code works. These mental models, we all have them when we code.
So it's like it's reading my mind.
Yeah.
Well, my coding mind, at least.
Kinda, yeah. It's like it understands how you're thinking about the code.
Okay.
And then it can kind of gently guide you towards the right solution.
So helpful.
The paper talks about this system called WatChat.
Watch that.
Yeah, and it uses this thing called probabilistic program inference.
Okay.
And it uses that to figure out what mental model you're using, and then it generates this explanation.
Wow.
That's tailored to your specific misunderstanding. It's like
That's incredible.
having a coding tutor who knows exactly how your brain works
Right.
and can explain things in a way that makes sense to you.
Okay, this is a game changer, especially for new programmers. I feel
Oh,
like.
absolutely. This would help people learn so much faster, avoid all those common pitfalls.
What about for more experienced programmers, though?
I think it could still be really helpful because even seasoned programmers, we can get stuck in our ways or make assumptions
Right.
without even realizing it. And this AI thought partner could help you identify those blind spots
Oh, interesting.
and kind of challenge your thinking and lead to more efficient, more elegant code.
I like it. I'm sold. Okay, let's move on to something a little more physical.
Okay, yeah.
The paper talks about embodied assistance, which sounds super sci-fi.
It does sound a little futuristic.
Yeah.
But they ground it in this really relatable example, cooking with a friend.
Okay.
So imagine you're making pizza with an AI-powered robot assistant.
Oh, I like where this is going.
You ask it to prepare the vegetables while I knead the dough.
Okay.
But this isn't just a mindless chopping machine.
It's better than that.
Yeah, this robot, it actually understands the bigger picture.
It knows we're trying to make a pizza here.
Exactly. It understands the goal.
Not just chop up some veggies.
And the paper talks about this system called SLIPS
Yep.
that shows how this is possible. And it uses something called Bayesian inverse planning.
Bayesian inverse planning.
Yeah, along with natural language processing
Wow.
to figure out your intentions and goals.
So it can take my instructions, like the things I say to it, and translate them into concrete actions.
Yeah, and it can anticipate what you might need next. Like maybe it hands you the rolling pin before you even realize you need it.
That'd be awesome.
Right. And this goes beyond just cooking.
Okay.
Imagine robots that can assist with all sorts of tasks,
Yeah.
like cleaning or construction, but they're not just mindless drones.
They're like partners in the task.
Exactly. They understand your goals and they can proactively offer help.
Okay. Robot assistant is officially on my Christmas list this year.
I think we all want one of those.
Okay, so let's move on to something maybe a little bit more creative.
Okay.
Storytelling. Because we know that AI can generate text now. But how can it possibly be a thought partner in something as nuanced and human
Right.
as storytelling?
It's a great question. And the paper dives into some really fascinating possibilities.
Okay.
They say that an AI thought partner for storytelling wouldn't just be about churning out words.
Yeah.
It would be about understanding the deeper structure of a story, the emotions it evokes, the impact it has on the audience.
It's not just about the words.
Yeah, it's about the how and the why.
A why.
Crafting a narrative that has a specific purpose and a specific effect. And the paper uses this term. It's called inverse planning.
Inverse planning.
Yeah, I know it's a mouthful.
Yeah.
But it basically means using our knowledge of human psychology and social cognition to design stories that achieve a desired outcome.
Okay, so like if I wanted to write a story that would inspire people to take action on climate change,
Yeah.
an AI thought partner could help me figure out the best way to structure that narrative, develop the characters, the words I use to evoke that feeling of urgency.
That's the idea.
That's incredible.
Imagine an AI that could analyze your writing, give you feedback on your pacing, your tone.
Wow.
Even suggest alternative plot twists or character arcs that would resonate more deeply with your audience.
I love that.
It's next level collaboration.
This could be huge for writers, filmmakers, educators, even anyone who uses stories.
Yeah, anyone who uses stories to communicate.
Okay, last case study, and this one's a big one.
Okay.
Medicine.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this, but also a little nervous.
I understand the apprehension. It's a field where trust, empathy, human connection are so important.
For sure, for sure.
But imagine a world where doctors, they have these AI partners that help them make sense of all this vast medical knowledge that's out there.
So we're not talking about replacing doctors with robots.
It's about giving them tools to enhance their expertise and their decision making.
So this is where those desiderata come in.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
The AI needs to understand the doctor's expertise,
Right, their preferences.
communicate clearly, and work from that same shared understanding.
Yeah, it's not just about being smart, it's about being a true partner in care.
Okay, I can get on board with that.
Imagine an AI that could help doctors stay up to date on the latest research,
Yeah.
identify potential biases in their thinking, even facilitate better communication with patients.
Wow, this could revolutionize healthcare.
It really could.
But there are a lot of potential downsides here too, right?
Oh, absolutely. We need to be very careful about how we design and implement these systems to make sure they're used ethically and responsibly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't want to create more problems than we solve.
Right.
Okay, so we've explored the potential, but now we need to talk about the challenges and the risks.
Yeah, for sure.
So stick with us as we wrap up this deep dive by looking at the future of this field, the ethical considerations, and how we can ensure that AI thought partners are actually a good thing for humanity.
Okay, so we've talked about all the amazing things that AI thought partners could do. But now, let's get real for a second.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges here?
Yeah, for sure. And one of the biggest challenges that the paper brings up is like scaling these systems up.
Okay.
Because right now, most of the research is focused on like dyads.
Dyads.
Yeah, so like interactions between one human and one AI.
Okay.
But to really make this work in the real world,
Right.
we need to figure out how these AI thought partners can work effectively in groups.
That makes sense. I mean, think about like a team of scientists working on a research project.
Exactly.
Or a group of writers collaborating on a screenplay.
Yeah, it gets a lot more complicated when you have multiple humans and multiple AIs all interacting with each other.
It's a whole different ballgame.
It's like the difference between having a personal tutor
Right.
and like participating in a class discussion.
Yeah, you need a whole different set of skills for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. You need to be able to understand group dynamics, navigate these complex communication patterns,
Right.
even handle conflicts or disagreements that might come up.
So how do we even start to design AI that can do all that?
Well, the paper suggests that we can learn a lot by studying how humans collaborate in groups.
Okay.
Like, how do we establish shared understanding?
Right.
How do we negotiate different perspectives? How do we resolve conflict constructively?
So it's not just about making AI smarter. It's about making it more socially intelligent
Exactly. It's about understanding those subtle nuances of human interaction.
and somehow teaching that to AI.
Yeah, building those capabilities into the system.
That's a tall order.
It is. And that brings up another big challenge evaluation.
Okay, yeah. How do we even know if an AI thought partner is actually doing a good job?
Right, especially in those group settings.
Yeah, it's not like we can just give them a multiple choice test.
Exactly. We need ways to measure how well they understand the humans they're working with, how clearly they communicate, how much they contribute to the goals of the group.
Because those traditional ways of evaluating AI, they don't really apply here.
They don't, because those are focused on tasks that have a clear right or wrong answer.
Right.
But thought partnership, it's all about those like fuzzy dynamic processes where success is hard to define.
So we need to come up with some new ways to measure this stuff.
We do.
Maybe even borrow some ideas from psychology or sociology.
Absolutely, fields that study human behavior.
And the paper actually suggests using games as a way to study human AI collaboration.
Yeah.
Games.
I know it sounds fun, but it actually makes a lot of sense.
Okay, how so?
Because games, they offer this rich, engaging context for exploring different types of thinking, like strategic planning, problem solving, even creative brainstorming.
Okay.
And because games have these clear rules and objectives,
Yeah.
it's easier to measure how well the AI is performing.
So we can see how it interacts with the humans, how it responds to unexpected events, how it contributes to the team.
Exactly. It's like a real-world simulation, but with lower stakes.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. And speaking of real-world applications, the paper also talks about creativity.
Oh yeah, AI and creativity. That's a fascinating topic.
It is. Could AI help us write better stories, compose better music, design better products?
That's a big question.
It is. Can AI be truly original?
Right.
Can it come up with ideas that are brand new, that aren't just variations on what it's been trained on?
I don't know. It's hard to even imagine.
It is, but even if AI can't perfectly replicate human creativity,
Yeah.
I think it could still be this incredibly valuable tool for augmenting our own creative processes.
I agree. I mean, imagine having an AI brainstorming partner
Yeah.
that could help you think outside the box, explore new connections, come up with ideas you would have never thought of on your own.
Like an AI muse.
I love that.
Right.
But as with any powerful tool, we need to be mindful of how it's used.
For sure.
And that brings us back to the ethics of all of this. We need to make sure that these AI thought partners
Yeah.
are designed in a way that benefits humanity, not harms it.
Absolutely.
We don't want to become so reliant on AI that we lose our own critical thinking skills.
Right. Or our ability to connect with each other.
Exactly.
The paper really stresses that we need to design AI systems that empower humans.
Not replace them.
Exactly. It's about finding that right balance. That
Partnership.
Yeah, where each partner contributes their unique strengths.
And we also have to be really careful about potential biases that could creep into these systems.
Oh, for sure.
Whether it's through the data they're trained on or the way they're designed, we need to make sure that these thought partners are fair, unbiased, and accessible to everyone.
It's a tough challenge, but it's one we have to tackle head on.
Agreed. If we want to create a future where AI is truly a force for good.
I think this paper has given us a really good roadmap for the future.
It has. This has been a mind-blowing deep dive.
It has.
We've explored the incredible potential of these AI thought partners.
Yeah.
But we've also talked about the challenges and the responsibilities that come with creating this kind of technology.
It's a lot to think about.
It is, and it's clear that we're just at the beginning of this journey.
Yeah, we're just scratching the surface.
So much more to explore.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap up, A huge thank you to Catherine M. Collins and her colleagues for this amazing research.
Yes, thank you.
You can find the full paper, Building Machines That Learn and Think with People, published in Nature and available on ArcCert by Cornell in the show notes.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to subscribe to Revise and resubmit for more explorations of cutting-edge research.
We'll be back soon with another thought-provoking episode.
Until then, keep those minds curious.
And those algorithms ethical.